Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Alin Balasa.
One second. Hello. My name is Alin Balasa. I am a senior software developer at Oxygen. I've been working for this organization for 14 years. I'm part of the Oxygen Publishing Solution team. The purpose of my presentation today is to show you how several Oxygen tools can be combined to improve your online documentation workflow. So this workflow will use Oxygen XML editor, we'll use Oxygen Publishing Engine, we'll use Oxygen Feedback. Oxygen XML editor and also Oxygen XML author offer a built-in support for transforming DITA content into WebHelp Responsive, PDF, and other formats. This support is also built in Oxygen Publishing Engine, which can be integrated with an automated process. Oxygen Feedback is a comment management platform that can be integrated in any HTML website. The first part of the workflow I will discuss today is the initial setup. So first of all, we'll need to publish our DITA content in an HTML format to make it available online. Next, we'll be integrating Oxygen Feedback to allow users to provide feedback regarding the documentation content, and also to ask questions about our product. After this setup is finished, once users start adding feedback on our HTML pages, reviewers and moderators can analyze that feedback and embed the suggestions in our documentation content, and then after that republish the documentation. So this part of the workflow represents continuous enhancing process of our documentation. Oxygen features an HTML5 output format. We call it WebHelp Responsive. It is an online help format. It features flexible layout which can adapt to any screen size. You can easily view that content on mobile devices or on desktop browsers. It is also extensible and customizable. You can deploy it on an HTTP server in order to make it available via the internet, or you can embed it in a software product to use it as offline help. Oxygen Publishing Engine, the tool that can be used to generate WebHelp responsive output, offers the support to customize this output. using a publishing template. The publishing template is a self-contained customization package that can be stored as a zip archive or as a folder, and it can be easily shared with others. The main customization methods that you can use are the following. You can use a basic customization method by configuring several transformation parameters to choose which component will be displayed or which component will be included in your output. You can use custom CSS files to apply custom styling on your output. You can embed custom HTML fragments and reference additional resources in your content, such as images, fonts, and I don't know, custom JavaScript or other resources. If you're not happy with the default structure that WebHelp Responsive generates for a certain component, you can develop your own XSLT extension files to generate or to create your own structure for that component. So this is an advanced way to customize the WebHelp output. In the first image, you can see how the WebHelp output looks like when no customization is applied. And in the second one, you can see how several customization methods can be combined to obtain the desired output. Moving forward, next, after obtaining the desired aspect for our documentation, our next step is to integrate Oxygen feedback in our output. Oxygen feedback is a common management platform specialized for technical documentation. It supports version comments. It is very easy to configure, and it can be integrated in any HTML web pages. It also provides an integration with Oxygen XML editor to allow technical writers to access the comment stream directly in Oxygen. In order to integrate Oxygen feedback in our HTML pages, the first step is to create an organization. The organization is the main concept of Oxygen feedback. All users and all site configurations and all their related data are grouped in organizations, and all the data that is part of an organization is isolated from the data from other organizations. You can assign different level of access for users by assigning them different roles. The roles that a user can have are the following. The moderator can moderate comments, can approve, can reject, can edit, or can delete comments. In addition to this, an admin can create site configurations and can delete or manage them. The organization owner can configure can create organization, can configure the organization profile, and it can delete the entire organization. The billing manager is a role that is available only on the Oxygen Feedback Cloud distribution. They only have rights to purchase and manage the organization's subscription. You can create an account in 3 ways. You can create an account directly in the administration interface. This way you will have to create also an organization, and after that you will be automatically assigned as the organization owner. You can create an account using an invitation link. The admins of an organization can invite other persons to join the organization, and this means they need to send them invitation emails. The admins can decide which roles are assigned to the invited users. Users that visit your deployed documentation can also create accounts directly from the command component. They will not have administration roles. They will have a regular user role, and they will only can add comments on your documentation. In order to add Oxygen feedback component to your online documentation, first you need to create a site configuration. To create a site configuration, you will need a user with an admin role assigned. By creating the site configuration, you will also specify the base URL of the website where your documentation is deployed. This is very important because the Oxygen feedback component will only be visible in web pages that are in the hierarchy of that base URL. For example, the base URL for the WebHelp output is the URL where your documentation is deployed. After performing these steps and creating a site configuration, you'll obtain an installation fragment like this one here. After that, you'll need to embed this installation fragment in every HTML page where you want the commenting component to be displayed. Oxygen publishing engine offers built-in support for contributing the Oxygen feedback installation fragment into your WebHelp responsive pages. After contributing this installation fragment and republishing your documentation, users that now are visiting your documentation pages, documentation website, will be able to add comments, to add suggestions about the content on that page, or to ask questions about your software product. The users that can post comments or that that have accounts that can post comments are assigned with a regular user role. an admin can make that or mark that certain users as trusted. This way, the comments of these users are automatically approved. They will not need the approval of a moderator. And also the admins can ban some users in order to disallow them to post comments on your website. Users can add comments at the topic level in the commenting component on the bottom page or the bottom part of your documentation page, or they can add comment contextually, linking that comment on a certain element in your HTML page. Once users have added comments on your web page, on your documentation site, moderators can decide which comments are approved in order to be visible to other users, and which comments will be rejected. This can be done by users with a moderator role or higher. Moderators can manage comments directly in the comments component in the documentation page, or in the comments page from the administration interface of Oxygen Feedback. This page lists all the comments available on the current site configuration. After users have started adding comments and making suggestions about the content in your documentation, technical writers need a way to manage these suggestions and identify the topics that they are referring to, and adjust the content of those topics. Oxygen shortens this workflow by integrating an add-on that offers built-in support for accessing the comments directly in a dedicated view. By installing this add-on, you will be able to see the comments in a side view. First of all, in order to see the comments, you will have to connect to your Oxygen Feedback account and authorize Oxygen to access the comments. And you have to add a mapping between your current DITA map and its base URL of the website where it is deployed. This way, the Oxygen Comments Manager view will list all the topics available for the current DITA map, or it can list the comments for the current topic, depending on the display mode that you will select in the top part of the view. This view offers basic comment management actions, and you can easily identify the associated topic with a certain comment by using the actions available on that comment. You can also follow the link to the HTML page where that comment was added. After analyzing the comments that were added on a certain topic, technical writers can adjust the DITA content and republish republish the WebHelp responsive output. You can use Oxygen publishing engine to automate this this process by configuring it with a continuous integration server that can react to every commit on your on your Git repository, and the continuous integration job can run a small script to republish that content. So we reach the conclusion of our presentation. We have seen that Oxygen offers a complete solution for authoring and publishing and collaboration. You can use Oxygen XML editor to edit your documentation. You can use Oxygen publishing engine to publish your content. You can use Oxygen feedback as a commenting platform. This concludes my presentation. If you have any questions, I'm here to answer it. Yes?
You were mentioning regular visitors and an organization. Do the regular visitors have to be defined in the organization, or that's just for the internal auditing team?
The regular users can create accounts on the commenting component in a website, and they will be part in the organization where that site configuration was created. So they are members of the organization. But they do not have administrative rights. The admins, the moderators, need to be invited by other admins or by the organization owner to create accounts in the organization and have that role assigned. You can then promote the regular users to have administrative rights, but that can be done either by an admin or by or by the organization owner.
So basically, anyone who comments on a page will become a member. If they log in somehow, they will become a member like normal users. You don't need to this is special because
Can they be anonymous?
No. With Oxygen feedback does not allow anonymous posts.
there are some concerns about this, and we decided not to allow anonymous comments because our target is basically not necessarily for a general commenting application or anyone will just drop something. And also,
basically, if you add a comment on a documentation page, you are referring to a task or to a procedure that does not work, or content being not very understandable, and you need the moderators to be able to get back to that person to have more details about the issue that they reported. So we decided to not allow anonymous users.
it was also a question who owns the users, those regular users, and why this is why we added the organization support. So basically those users are the organization users. They are not our users as providers of the platform. So if you create an organization, they are your users. not ours.
Yeah, they are the end readers of the documentation, so they are not in our organization.
Yes, but you own the data,
Yeah.
their contact information and so on. That was also a concern. The feedback is installed also on our website for our documentation. And although initially there were just a few comments, now we receive quite a lot of comments regularly. The feedback was, maybe you can show
Yes.
the website. And yeah, so if you read our documentation, you are welcome to also provide some feedback. And we are continuously working on adding new functionality. For instance, we added also some feedback whether that was helpful or not, and now we will allow to provide also a reason why you found this.
So as you see, if you want to add a comment, you need to log in. You cannot add anonymous comments. We also use Oxygen feedback as a support tool. Users are reporting issues regarding the product where it is installed. So we use it this way. We are using it also as a review tool. Every time we release a new version, the documentation team publishes a sample of the user manual, and we, as developers, use the Oxygen feedback as a review tool to give feedback and to report problems to the documentation team. So it can be used for this workflow as well.
You were mentioning rating.
Yes, we have. You can configure a small section that will be presented in every page of your documentation, letting users tell you if they found that page helpful or not. The site admin or the site owner can configure the content of both the content of the questions and the content of the answers, the two options that the users can choose from. So you can use this component as for a statistic purpose. So
we identified quite a number of pages where users are happy with, and a number of pages where users are not happy with, and now we are looking into getting into those pages and try to see and improve them, because it raises a question why people are not finding that useful. But we will extend this functionality also with the support to allow users to tell a reason. Of course, they can provide a comment to specify the reason why it's not useful, but it will be easier because this for this we may or we may not record your identity. So you may say I don't like it, and don't provide your identity when you do that, because otherwise maybe people will not be really willing to say I'm George and I don't like your page. It will be more.
okay. So any questions? Yes.
Is it particularly customized to be used with DITA, or would it work with other documentation systems like DocBook as well?
You can install it in any HTML web page, but we have a dedicated workflow in our tools for DITA content, but it can be installed and used in any HTML page. It doesn't really need to be a documentation web page, but it has some support for, it has dedicated support for documentation web pages, like version comments. Every time you release a new version of your product, you can you need to create a new, you need to publish a new version of your documentation. So you need to create a new site configuration. By having those versions for your site configurations, you can manage them as an entity.
You can decide whether older comments from the previous version move to the new one, or you just forget them and you start new with the new version, for instance. You know? So we took this idea, but it can be used, as Alin said, for any HTML page. But if you are using for technical documentation, then you have more things that we were thinking about.
We tested it with DocBook published outputs, and it works very well. So. Any other questions? Yes?
You say it's closely related to the comments are attached to the topics, or to the topics and the map?
The comments are attached to the page. We
you don't have a relation with the topics?
No, we create, we do some calculations to find the associated topic in Oxygen comments view, but it is not associated with the topic. It's associated with.
If I want to have statistics, my use case is if I want to have statistics on the topics, not on the page, I have to do it myself.
Yes, yes.
So basically, from the connector plugin between Feedback and Oxygen allows you to open a topic and see which comments are on that topic. Yes, so that plugin identifies, and even you can create comments at the element level. So then you can match a comment to a specific element in a topic.
But we do a back mapping.
But we do that, you know, with some logic that identifies and tries to see this topic. This HTML page belongs to this topic.
It cannot be a one-to-one, right?
Sometimes it's not one-to-one, because multiple topics can generate one page, or depending on how you publish.
Any other questions?
From a developer's perspective, what software requirements are necessary to run this whole stack, this whole web application stack?
Can you speak louder, please?
From a developer's perspective, what software requirements are necessary to run the Oxygen web application? Does it play well together with, let's say, a C# application, a C# content management system? And what databases are used for the comments?
For feedback.
I understood. You can. So Oxygen Feedback comes with an enterprise distribution, so you can install it on your own server. It can be integrated with MySQL database and Postgres database. So
the comments are not stored inline with the XML? With
no,
DITA
no. The comments are stored in the database. You're welcome.
And it's a web application, so you can deploy it basically. I think we provide.
We provide a cloud distribution and an enterprise distribution. So.
Have you implemented single sign-on for this web applications?
Yes, you can use for the cloud distribution. You can use Google and Facebook to sign into, and in the enterprise distribution, you can configure your own single sign-on provider to integrate with. So it's basically OpenID. So if you have an OpenID provider, you can connect it with. It also, for the enterprise distribution, also have LDAP support. So we can let users authenticate with their LDAP credentials. Any other question?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.